I really was not expecting to be doing another WaifOut video, especially not so soon, considering that the Aqua video didn't really get many views, I guess, no worse reception than any other video I make, I guess. But I had a topic to talk about, and I just sort of realized, like, this is the best way to do it. And I also want to apologize, I'm going to be using a notebook this time. I take a lot of notes on these things, and as you saw with the Aqua video, when I have to just memorize it all, it does not turn out well. I tend to forget things. So I've got notes here I can just quickly refer to and get this over with quicker. So what's the subject I needed to talk about? Well, a month ago I finished playing Fire Emblem Awakening. A good game. I liked it. In terms of 3DS turn-based strategy games, I still prefer Project Cross Zone. But, Fire Emblem was good, and Awakening started one of the more known aspects of the series. I honestly didn't know it wasn't a thing before Awakening. Relationship management and marriages. Along with your customizable avatar, which, yes, I know, if we're being 100% technical, did not start with Awakening, but, we don't get many games here in America anyway. So, one of the key aspects of the game is you create your own character. He's a tactician. You can name whatever you want. Just for the sake of this video, I'll use Robin, just because Smash Brothers has established that as the canon name. And you can marry off any of the troops you want. Well, not any of them, but they have certain characters they're allowed to marry and have children with. And your avatar can marry anyone of the opposite gender. So, there's generally accepted, fans will choose this specific character to marry, and there's a small list of them that generally go around. Some are more popular than others. But I've started coming up with a theory that started off as just justification for my choice, but I kept coming up with more and more reasons, and at some point I just realized, I am onto something here. So I am going to be explaining why one Fire Emblem wife, specifically wife, I'm doing all of this under the assumption that Robin is male, just because that's who he was in my playthrough. One Fire Emblem wife stands head and shoulders above the rest, which is funny because she is the shortest of all of them. We are talking about Noe. Now, honestly, I could stop the video right here, because Robin is a smart man, right? What kind of smart man wouldn't go for Noe? She's wonderful in everything. But I do have more detail to go into. In case any of you don't know Noe, or you just need a quick refresher, Noe is, first off, she's a fucking dragon, alright? Okay, how the hell does my battery die that quick? Jesus Christ. How is this possible? Alright, hold on. Charging this battery is the hardest thing in the world. Okay. Left off talking about Noe is a fucking dragon, alright? That is a important thing. Who the fuck does not love dragon girls, alright? I think Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid has sort of settled this matter for us. And even beyond that, she is very small. That is the thing I like, Just looking at pictures of her, I'm like, oh my, I could pick her up and carry her on my back and it would be adorable. It would be the cutest thing in the world. She's already the cutest thing in the world, but whatever. She's very energetic. It's youthful. It's probably a thing a lot of people don't like. Throwing it out there, I have no idea if I mentioned this in my fanfiction video, but I am a lolicon. So, she's legal. She is over 1,000 years old, but she looks and acts like a child. Awkward Zombie did a fantastic comic about that. But, she's not one note. There are scenes in the game, like support conversations and such, where she's alone and she gets very upset. She lives forever, or at least in an incredibly long time. She gets very upset about the fact that she's going to outlive everyone she knows and loves. So that's sad enough already. Either way, it gives her some depth, makes her honestly all the more adorable. And then in terms of physical features, this is still important for loving girls. I already said small, childlike. If you're like me, then hey, it's not a problem. With that in mind, she has a flat chest, and I'm talking People say Lucina has a flat chest. No, fucking Noe is flat. I'm talking as it should be. I have said this before. That is how it should be. And I've also said before, she wears shorts. Shorts! How can you not love shorts? They're perfect. And her hair is cute, alright? It's long, it's really messy, it's green. It's good stuff. Okay. But yes, these are the reasons why I love Noe, and the reasons why my Robin married her. Simple enough, but the point of this video is to describe why I think Noe is the perfect companion for Robin, amidst all other choices, and Robin has his share of choices. First off, a lot of people would disagree with this, a lot of people do not follow this rule, but the way I see it, Crom and Robin are the best of friends, to the point that even if you're male, the dialogue in the second half of the game suggests they are a lot more than friends. If you ship Crom and Robin, even if he's male, it's fine. Honestly, I understand. But they are very close friends. And because of that, I believe that Robin is a firm believer in the bro code. So that, first off, that means that he's not going to touch anyone in Crom's family. He's not going to touch Alyssa. If you're doing spot pass stuff, he's not going to touch Emran. And this is the point a lot of people are going to contest. I don't think he would touch Lucina. She's without a doubt the most popular pairing for Robin, but I think he wouldn't do it. I think going after his best friend's daughter is kind of a weird thing to do. And the bro code goes to a second step here. I think he also would not touch girls that Crom has a chance with. Because Crom is not like Robin, who can seduce any girl in the Shepherds. Now, Crom has a limited pool of girls, and I feel like Robin wouldn't... As a tactician, he understands that... Sort of understands the relationship values. That's sort of just implied by the fact that you are Robin when you're playing the game, so you're the one that can see like all of the possible support paths for characters. So with that in mind, Robin's not going to take one of Crom's couple options, so that rules out Sumia, Olivia, Sully. There's one more that he can marry, I don't remember, I'm sure. I was looking at this earlier, I don't remember. So he's going to go for someone that Crom just does not have interest in, doesn't have to worry about taking it, because Robin can go for anyone, as I've said multiple times now. He does not need to be picky. And look at who's not compatible with Crom. Noe. So, Noe is a girl that has no attachments whatsoever. Simple enough. So that satisfies like the bro code side of things. That's probably the most contestable thing I'm going to say here, just because it's actually a joke in the fandom that Robin is not a believer in the bro code, but come on, he is a cool dude, alright? I don't think he would do it if we're just talking about this in a story-based perspective way. So I'll just that. Now second, Robin is a tactician. That is what he does. It's pretty much literally all he knows, considering Amnesia plot, you know. So, he spends his entire days planning things out, carefully considering a lot of possibilities, strategy, all that stuff. And it's probably like a situation where even when he's off duty and not working, he's probably still got it on the mind just because he does it so much and it's such a mentally taxing position to be in. So it's probably really hard for him to relax off duty if he's just in that tactician's mindset. So what does Noe provide for that? Well, she's kind of unpredictable. That means that Robin can't think about what she's going to do. He can't strategize around her. So he's not even going to try. He just accepts that, okay, I don't know what Noe's going to do. I don't have to worry about it. She is unpredictable, and for a tactician, that is a really good thing. It means he can relax around her. Now, I said earlier, just a minute ago, Robin has amnesia. He doesn't remember anything prior to the beginning of the game where he is found in a field by Crom, Lissa, Frederick, all the base shepherds. And because of that, he doesn't remember a whole bunch about his life. Now, wait, oh right, spoilers. I am going to spoil most of the game here. I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but I haven't spoiled anything yet, so you're good. If you haven't played the game yet, you're good. Okay, so it's probably later in the game. It's probably a good thing he doesn't remember his childhood, but either way, he doesn't. So that's like one big part of his life that he doesn't have experience with. And even with some of the younger members of the Shepherds, they don't really act like kids, Somewhat. They do a little bit, Rissa, Rickon. They do a little bit, but Noe is a kid. She acts like a kid all the time. She is energetic, playful, and I really mean playful. She plays a fucking lot. So it sort of gives Robin an insight into what a child is like, and it fills a gap in his life. And that gap becomes important later on, because one of the points of awakening is that instead of just having children, you don't just have children and then they age up to some other dimensional thing. I don't know. I didn't play Fates or Echoes, if Echoes even had it. Your children just come in from the future fully grown. Well, not fully. I'm of the firm belief that all of the second generation characters, minus Lucina, are at least teenagers, something like that. But, what was my point? Oh yeah, so just suddenly Robin has a kid or two. He's definitely going to have Morgan, depending on who he marries. I think all of the women have like a specific child that they bear, I believe. So Robin suddenly has 2 kids he has to worry about. And he wouldn't have any idea how to take care of them because he doesn't know how to deal with kids. Well, what did Noe just provide? He just provided her a way to look at like how to deal with children, basically. He has to deal with her all the time now that they're married. So now he understands how you're supposed to, not how you're supposed to, but how you can raise children. And granted, that's not something that's universal. Morgan doesn't act too much like a child, and with this in mind, Na would be his other kid. And she purposefully doesn't act like a kid. But that's not, to me, they're not exactly mature either. They do still need that parental touch, and without memories of what his parents were like, again, probably a good thing, he wouldn't have any idea how to deal with it unless he was watching other shepherds raise their children, which I didn't do much relationship planning in my Game of Awakening. The only 2 marriages were Crom to Sully, because that one had to happen for story reasons, and then Robin to Noe. But these kids are important because it further supports my theory in that obviously the child is most like their dominant parent. Maybe not dominant, their set parent, in that they're going to be, each child is assigned one specific parent who is going to have them no matter what their marriage is. So, just to prevent having to write a bunch of extra dialogue and personalities, each child is most like the parent that they know they're going to have. But they're not... Gia. Alright, sure. Come on, Angie. Okay, no. Don't come in then. Fine. Do you want to come in? You want to come in? You want to? No, you don't. Okay, great. Thanks for scratching at the door if you didn't want to come in. Thanks. Is this how you deal with children? Is this how you do it? Alright, so children are always most like their set parent, but not exactly. They always have some other traits to them to make them stand out as their own characters. And that sort of gets you thinking, like, which other parent best suits that to say, like, which side of the family did they get these other personality traits that didn't come from their set parent? And I happen to think that Robin and Noe's children match that very well. So we'll start off with Robin's Morgan. And first off, the people who play Fire Emblem like it's a eugenics simulator, and no, that is how I'm going to call it. Fucking have fun, guys. Jesus Christ. We'll say that Robin and Noe is a good pairing if we're talking about Morgan, because it makes Morgan incredibly powerful as a Manakete dragon. And yes, just in casual gameplay, that is a good thing to have. She did become a very powerful unit scored the final hit in the final boss, so that was cool. But who is Morgan? Morgan is actually a lot like Robin in that she woke up one day amnesiac. Do you want? Now it's Thumbs. Do you want to come in, Thumbs? Do you want to? I'm busy. All right, fine. Come in. Sure. I cannot deal with these cats. I would not be a good parent. My hat's falling off too. Great. Okay, I would not be a good parent. I can't even deal with cats properly without getting annoyed at them. Okay. I was going to say, like, if my hat's not on right, it looks stupid. This is going to look, despite the fact that it represents that I've graduated college, I'm going to look stupid in this hat no matter what, so irony of the world, I guess. Alright, so who is Morgan? Well, Morgan's a lot like the Avatar Robin, in that she's studying to be a tactician. She's smart, she plans things out, but she's not exactly like him, you know. She's a goof. She's a bit of a goof. Obviously, what Morgan is like is dependent on whether Robin is a man or a woman, just because that makes Morgan the opposite gender, and personality changes along with that. But for the sake of this, Morgan is a girl, and female Morgan is a bit of a goof. You know, her first support conversation with Robin is trying to lure him into a trap, just as like a game. And you know, where did she learn that playfulness from? Granted, I'm saying that with the knowledge that a lot of the shepherds are goofs, you know? And yes, I love saying the word goof. It's just a fun word. So I'm saying that with the knowledge that, yes, like, she could have gotten that from a variety of mothers, but for the sake of this, we can say Noe is a good set, even if she doesn't remember Noe. Like, parts of her personality have sort of become hardwired into her just due to how she was raised. So either way, it's not final proof of Noe, but it does support it in this way. Okay. And at the same time, Robin plays with her back, you know. She is, you know, she's trying to lure him into a trap. He recognizes it immediately. He's like, there's the trap you're trying to trick me with. Now, you can just say that Robin is observant, and he notices Morgan acting weird, and just sort of figures out like something's up with her, and spending time around the rest of the goof shepherds has sort of got him onto this means of these, like how people that are pranking other people act. But he'd learn it married to Noe. He'd learn goofing off. Can we have like a goof count? I'm not going to edit it in, but whatever. He'd learn how people having fun and playing would act, like right up front. He'd have it. So it's not final proof. Obviously, you can just say that Robin learned it from other shepherds, but it once again supports the theory. Now, the other child, Na is always Noe's kid, in that although she's a lot less like Noe in that than other children, though, again, the fact that she is that does still support it, she does still work as Noe's kid just because of the way the story works, her character works. In that Na does not play around at all, you know, she is very responsible, very adamant about like studying and training for combat. So she's very, very much about doing work and being a responsible adult, despite the fact that I believe she's actually one of the younger children. That's what I always thought. Not that I had too many kids to compare it to in my playthrough. Four kids. That was fun. But either way. But at the same time, she is a lot like Noe. You know, she does get emotional actually pretty easily, despite the fact that she tries to suppress it. So either way, we can say Noe works as her mom. Like, yeah, she was written to work like that, whatever. Doesn't mean anything. Now, you can also say that, you know, her extreme responsibility is just, like, an absolute opposite. Like she sees Noe goofing off, thinks I don't want to be like that, so just does the opposite. But at the same time, I think it kind of works if she had a responsible adult to latch onto in protest, I guess. Not that, man, I don't really. The backstories of some of the child characters are kind of weird just because there's so many unknowns about them. So I really have no idea how long Noe spent around, Na spent around her parents. But all that stuff is unclear. But I feel like she had her, if she had another parent that she perceived as more responsible, like, say, a tactician, then she'd latch onto that in protest of Noe's perceived irresponsibility. So she basically just did what she saw Robin doing a lot of the time. You know, studying tactician stuff, becoming a good soldier. She just didn't understand she just maybe, thinking sort of psychologically here, she probably also saw him being like lovey-dovey to Noe or him being playful, but she wrote it off as like either her mother's influence or just things she didn't want to believe. So she sort of latched onto Robin as like this perfect person, this, I've used responsible enough times, this idealistic person that she wanted to grow up to be. So it's sort of, again, not to say there's there's goof shepherds, but there's other responsible shepherds, and I can just say that there are other places she could have got it than a hypothetical Robin. But once again, when you pair it with Morgan also taking after Noe in this sense, Na takes after Robin, it actually adds up. It actually makes a good pairing. And the dichotomy of Morgan and Na both having aspects of both of their parents also makes them good sisters. You know, they have kind of fun support actually, I don't remember their support conversations. I know we got some of them, but I don't really remember. Yeah, it was mostly just Morgan wanting to remember, and the cat wants to come in now. Yeah, sure. You want to come in now, Gia? Do you want to come in? There's someone honking outside. I can never... When I'm filming a normal video, these are not problems I have to deal with. I do fine. I understand I'm taking longer on this, so that just means more time they can mess up, but I swear I don't have to deal with this too often. Okay, thank you. Come in, Gia. Come in. Hi, it's nice to see you too. Hi, alright. Can the two of you just hang in here until I'm done, alright? So I don't remember too much of Morgan and Na's support conversations. It is usually just Morgan trying to remember things by bashing her head against a book or a wall. Kind of a weird thing for her to do. Wonder who she could have gotten that from. Without understanding Noe's subtleties. They are kids after all. Oh, and Na's just trying to get her to stop because you're my only sister. I remember all these times where you were the only family I had, so please don't hurt yourself like that. And as I said earlier, Noe's biggest insecurity in life is the fact that she's going to outlive all of her friends and lovers, any potential lovers, I should say. And one of the pairings that people will latch onto a lot for Noe is Henry. And in their proposal, Henry will say, we can have 6 children. We can have a lot of Manichae children for you to play with. And the fact that Na shows up immediately after that means he really got on that. He really meant it, but either way. At the same time, I also sort of discredit that because of what I said earlier, Na having a responsible parent to latch onto. If Noe marries Henry, there is no responsible parent there. And I understand the game does sort of account for that, like in Na's ending. It's like she grew up faster because her parents definitely weren't going to. I think that's only if Noe marries Henry. I don't remember. But the thing is, even with other children, even if Na has a sibling, they're never going to be a Manichae. They're always going to be a human. Unless it's Morgan. Morgan, by the fact that she's adaptable, much like the way the Avatar is when you're creating him, She can be a lot of different classes, and she gets her primary one from her mother, so that means that both Morgan and Na become Manakete dragons. And that means that Noe now has an additional Manakete to live forever with. She now has a full family, minus up. She loses her husband, yes, granted, but she still has 2 daughters that she can live forever with, along with Tiki. So that really doesn't, Robin didn't plan for that. Maybe. I don't know. He very well could have, considering how much you have to plan for it if you're playing on classic mode. But yeah, even if Robin planned for that, that wouldn't have been a deciding factor for the marriage. But it does create a bit of a happier ending for Noe. So if we're talking in terms of story, then, it's a nice thing to do. It's cute that she now has a full family. And there's a good picture online I just really like of Noe, Morgan, and Na all hugging. Robin's not there, of course, but it's a really cute picture, and I just like it a lot. I'll put it up. And let's see, I can also say that I suppose I probably should have brought this up earlier when I was still talking about Robin. I agree. Robin outright I don't even think it's just Robin. I think it's anyone who marries Noe, but yeah, for the sake of this, it is Robin. Outright admits when he's questioned by Na, why'd you marry Noe? And why would you do that? He admits, I was drawn to her youthfulness. I was drawn to her energy. And I feel like that further submits the unpredictable thing I mentioned earlier. He likes that kind of thing. And maybe it's just me projecting, but with that in mind, I kind of believe that Robin is a bit of a lolicon as well. Now, I say that. He's a lolicon, and I believe only in the Japanese version, Na outright, not accuses, but suggests it, that Robin's a pedophile, in that, you married my mother because she looks and acts like a kid. So that's sort of a thing. I'd say he's a lolicon, he's not a pedophile, alright? That's a bad thing to be, so don't do that. But I use that as further proof that he wouldn't marry any of the other second-generation characters, except for Lucina, but that gets in the way of the bro code thing I mentioned earlier. And in the present, that also rules out Lissa. Again, the bro code already did that, and that takes higher priority. But either way, it limits Robin's potential pool, while keeping it with the way that he likes it. Again, that's any male character that can marry Robin can admit, yeah, I like her youthfulness. So you can say that about anyone, but it's a point I want to make. And finally, the most spoilerific one, so I saved it for last. Again, if you have not beaten Awakening, stop the video here, because this is a big spoiler. Alright? Robin, how's my hat falling off? Honestly, does it look kind of good like that anyway? It looks weird, but whatever. Whatever. It's staying on. Robin was specifically birthed to be a vessel for the fell dragon Grima. Grima, I don't know how you pronounce it. And in order to be that, okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. And now I push that. Now my hair, fuck it, I don't care. In order to be that, Robin has the blood of the fell dragon in him. So Robin's somewhat a dragon. Obviously, he can't tap into that power. He's not a Manakete, so he can't tap into the power to turn into a dragon. But he does have the blood of a dragon in him. If he marries Noe, he's just keeping it in the family. Not the family, but he's keeping it in the species. Basically, Noe's one of the few Manaketes left, so in this way, it's sort of like repopulating the species with 2 children, making it a lot easier. And if we take the fact that Morgan becomes a Manakete in mind, then that makes it seem like Manakete is a dominant gene. So basically any of the Morgan and Na's kids are going to become Manaketes. Although, again, gameplay does suggest that's not the case. Or maybe Morgan and Na just got lucky and got good dragon genes. But if we do this, it means that they're on the way to repopulating the species. Awesome. That's a good ending thing to be. So I'm not really making this point to convince anyone, you know. If you want Robin to marry someone else, you know, if you really believe that he works better with Lucina as a big example. I saw someone earlier today saying that they really like pairing him with Cordelia just because they like the support conversations. You know, that's fine. Obviously, I'm not going to change your mind about how you want to play the game. Unless, as I said earlier, you're playing it as a eugenics simulator. Just have fucking fun, guys. Don't even touch Lunatic Plus, alright? Enjoy fucking video games. But I believe that Robin and Noe actually make a fantastic pair. I've made a lot of points saying that, granted, not all of these are exclusively proof of my theory, and not all of them, but they all support my theory in some way. And when you come up with this many points, as I mentioned earlier, it looks like I've been going on for about half an hour now. I'll cut some of it out. Honestly, I might not. I don't know. But either way, when you come up with this many points, I don't think this was intentional, but it really does start to add up, and you start to think like, yeah, that actually does work. It's very possible that you could make these points about any of the other wives just because maybe their support conversations reveal something that I didn't see because I wasn't bothering with much support stuff in the game. I worried about marriage the one time, I worried about keeping families close, and then the rest guys just got support conversations when they happened to be next to each other, or I paired them up for just some quick battle reason. And I'm not just saying this because Noe is adorable and I love her so very much. I actually love her just as much. If we're talking like video game girls, she's actually ranked right up there with Aqua for me. So I suppose it only makes sense that this is how I would do it. But that's just a theory, a game theory, to use the obvious joke. But I firmly believe it. And man, aren't I lucky to pick the perfect girl.